Yeah guys, there's a lot of changes for this devlog, so I'm just going to pretty much go through them pretty quickly. First up, we got the shadow arrow. So this is a new arrow type. It fires a lot slower than the other arrows, just to try and keep the balance there. This basically makes it so when you shoot the arrow, if you press the arrow swap key again, it'll teleport you to the current position of the arrow. So you can use this to like outplay your opponents or just get high ground and stuff. It's pretty cool. So along with the shadow arrow, the fire arrow and smoke arrow also had their speeds changed. So they're firing at 80 meters per second. And then the normal projectile speed is now 200 and it used to be 140, which is kind of funny because it used to be about 20 or something, really slow, and now we're at 200. So yeah, it's pretty big change. So we also have a new utility option as well. But first, the shop has been changed. So you can now select your arrow types, you can select your utility, and then in the future you'll be able to select some other stuff, which I'm not quite ready to show off yet, but there'll be updates on them probably after early access releases. Anywho, so you've got your utility selection now, so you've got smoke bomb, throwing knife, and satchel. So the smoke bomb was in the game about 2 or 3 months ago, and that was like the only utility. And then we had throwing knife only, but now we have a selection, and we also have a new satchel as well. So the satchel is like a raised satchel from Valorant, but you don't throw it and then activate it. It's just like you throw it and it instantly activates after 0.25 seconds. So you can use this to like add to your momentum. So you can like dash, slide, wall jump off something, throw the satchel behind you, get some nice speed, and then go back into a slide. And the movements are really cool, especially when you like start combining the shadow arrow and the satchel. It's pretty sick. So with the introduction of the shadow arrow and the satchel, the movement in the game is a lot more fast paced now. So I've had to start opening up certain areas of the map for testing, and I'm also working on a slightly bigger map, which I'll show at the end of the video. Talking about movement, all of the movement in the game has had like a huge quality of life change, which I've been wanting to do for a long time. So you don't have to like hit keys exactly at the right time now. You can hold them whenever, you know, how you would expect from a normal game. So you can hold slide in the air, and then when you hit the ground you'll slide and all that type of stuff. So another feature regarding movement as well, you can now wall bounce. So to do this, you just run up to a wall. You have to be sprinting, and then when you're in the air after you've jumped, you can jump again if you're facing a wall, and you'll wall bounce off it. So you have to be sprinting, you jump, turn face the wall, wall bounce, turn off, and then yeah, it's pretty neat. It's quite nice, but you only get one chance to use it in the air, so you have to time it. It's kind of like a skill thing, I guess, but you can't just like spam scroll wheel to do a wall bounce. So there's a new camera option in the game. Thank you Talcos for recommending this. So this is like a camera that's further back and in the middle of the screen, so the projectiles feel a bit more accurate, so you're not like to the left or to the right of the camera with your character. So it's quite nice to use. I personally prefer using this new camera, so I'm trying to get a vibe of everyone's feel for what type of camera they're using, and then we'll see if we default to one in the future or if we keep both. A lot of UI changes have been happening as well, so there's player profiles at the top of the screen now, like in CS, Valorant, etc. So you can see who's dead, see who's alive, see how many people are on each team and stuff like that. So it's a nice new addition. The scoreboard as well, UI updates, and also a new damage stat, so you can see how much damage you've done over the course of the game. Some updates to VFX, mainly for the arrow types. So the fire arrow now has like a Molotov effect, and you can see all the fire and the flames, and it gives an indication of how big the actual damage zone is now, so it's a lot more visible. Smoke has been changed a bit as well, so you can no longer see through the smoke. This applies to the smoke bomb and the smoke arrow as well, and it fades in faster, so you get more time with the full duration of the smoke. So maps, let's talk about maps. So King's Rest, this is the new map that's been added to the game. So this was originally thrown in its grey box stage. Now I've put all the textures in and all the new assets. So this is an interesting one because Throne's actually quite tight now, which I don't think I'm a fan of. We're currently testing, so we've got King's Rest, which is the sort of close quarter map, I would call it now. like there's very tight angles and a lot of LOS. Cliffside's a bit more open and it's a slightly bigger. And then this new map I'm working on, which I'll show at the end, is like a lot more open. So I want to see which people prefer out of these 3 maps the best, and then try and go that direction with the map size. So this is the new map. It's called something. It doesn't have a name yet. Any recommendations, let me know. So this has a new level element added, which is the zipline. So I've been working on this for a bit, trying to get this working multiplayer as well, which is probably like the hardest part. So this works now. I'm excited to see how people use this, because it also adds to momentum as well. So you can jump off the zipline at any point. You can shoot whilst on the zipline. So you could like dash Satchel onto the zipline and then jump off, Satchel again or something, and just the speed is insane that you can get off it, which is nice. So this is a lot more open than the other maps. So I'm just excited to see how people play on this map really. And this patch will probably be going live next week for everyone who's got access to the closed alpha build. If you currently don't have access to the closed pre-alpha, make sure to check out the description link in the description. Yep, it's there. So I think that about covers everything, but probably not, because there's probably like loads that I missed. It's been a pretty busy 2 months. So yeah, but thanks to everyone who supports the project. Huge shout out to all the Patrons. I love you guys. Kiss kiss. And yeah, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Catch you in the next one.